Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to tonight's Everton 24/7 report. Well, unfortunately, today's headline news is not quite as positive as it has been in the last few days, and that news today is that Richarlison has fallen ill with mumps on Copa America duty with Brazil. It's been said that Richarlison will remain quarantined with the illness away from the rest of the Brazil squad ahead of their next game against Paraguay. And after the conclusion of that game, the rest of the Brazil squad will be ensured they're vaccinated against the disease. The question that is in my mind is, in the modern era where football's awash with money, how on earth these professional footballers not been given a vaccination that's commonplace around the world? I just think it's absolutely absurd. From an Everton perspective, this could go either way. On the downside, this could delay his start of the pre-season, and it might mean he's not raring to go for our opening game, which is a real blow for us, to be honest. But on the other hand, if Richie does miss the rest of the tournament but recovers in time for the pre-season, which it may well be the likely outcome here, it could prevent him picking up a serious injury on international duty. And in that sense, it could help Everton avoid a curse which has struck us in many ways recently with the likes of Seamus Coleman, perhaps Funes Mori, and most recently Yerry Mina among our ranks getting injuries while playing for the country. Let's try and keep positive anyway on that front, and fingers crossed Richie has a very speedy recovery and is back with training with us very soon. On to the rumour mill now, and a possible blow in our pursuit for Moise Kean. And unfortunately, it's an issue here that we as Everton fans have been subjected to very regularly in the past, and that is a relative of a player getting involved in his career. And apparently now it's Moise Kean's father has been speaking to Passione Inter, an Inter Milan fan website, and says that it's his son's dream to play for the Nerazzurri. He says that Keane grew up idolising an ex-Inter star, Obafemi Martins. I'm not sure what to think of that, given that he's hardly going to tell an Inter Milan fan site that his son would rather go to Everton, is he? So we don't know how much to buy into any of those sorts of rumours. Of course, for once, the positive of this could well be his agent is Mino Raiola, and he could actually prove to be Everton's hero rather than the villain in this case. The article also suggests that Raiola reckons a move to the Premier League is better for this young striker's career, and that he would try to convince him to join Everton, or any other Premier League team for that matter, but given we're the only Premier League team in for him at the moment, that looks the most likely outcome if that's the case. As I've said before regarding Keane, I'm willing to leave it up to Brands and Silva to judge whether he's worth the risk, what with his discipline issues. But whatever way you look at it, I don't doubt that signing Keane would send a message to our rivals about our ambitions. It would be a statement of intent, and hopefully he will end up coming good if we did end up signing him. Now, another new striker has been thrown into the mix today for us, and that's Croatian international Andrej Kramaric. This lad was a flop in the Premier League a few years back with Leicester City, when he only scored twice in just over a year in England. However, he has since proven himself at top level. He's played in a top league with Bundesliga side Hoffenheim, and he's played in the Champions League with them as well. He scored 17 times in Germany last year, and a total of 58 goals in 3.5 years since he's moved to the Bundesliga, which is a good scoring record. Now, tribal football reckon Everton could be in for the Croat now, along with our usual best friends West Ham. I don't see too much in this rumour, particularly given that at 28 he does exceed the age range that is a key element of Marcel Brands' transfer policy since he's come here. Under Marcel Brands, we've yet to sign a player older than 26 at the time of signing, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So that, and you throw in his poor Premier League strike rate from his Leicester days, I don't think this rumour's a goer. The final rumoured incoming of the day is midfielder Morgan Sanson, who is playing for Marseille in Ligue 1 and looked close to completing a move to Wolves about a month ago. Since then, that hasn't come to fruition, and West Ham have been linked heavily in the last couple of weeks, and now it seems it's our turn to be linked with the 24-year-old. He's a very good player and a very talented midfielder, but as I've said regularly in these reports, and it seems as though I'm saying this every other day on these reports, to be honest with you, for us to take any of these centre midfield rumours seriously, we need to clear the squad a bit, particularly given it's a position where we are the most overloaded at the moment. If our fringe players need to be shifted, James McCarthy, Besic, maybe even Morgan Schneiderlin, These players need to go before we can think of bringing in another centre mid / defensive mid. And now moving on to outgoings, and there's just the one today, and it's one that now seems almost inevitable to happen. And that's Basala Sambu, one of the stars of our under-23s double-winning team of last season. He's rejected an offer of a new contract, and it looks as though he will leave the club when his current deal runs out next week. I'm not surprised by this. To be honest, I'm not disappointed either. I watched a few of our under-23 games last season, and personally, I don't think Sambu has what it takes to succeed in a top European league. After all, teams from the second Bundesliga, Eredivisie and our own Championship are in for him on a free transfer, and I'd imagine from what I've seen of him that looks about this lad's level. It's a shame to see any promising youngster leave, and we did actually pay around £1 million for him to sign for us from Coventry about 3 years ago. But having seen him play for the under-23s, I think I've seen enough to know he wouldn't make it in the Premier League, that's for sure, and it's right for him to move on. I think there are a lot more players in our youth ranks who are more promising and more deserving of the step up than Sambu, and at 21, I think he's at the right age now to move on and settle somewhere else where he can kickstart his professional career. Finally, tonight, aside from the signings, we have been given some more information from Everton about the plans for our new stadium in the Bramley-Moore Dock. Those plans state that Everton plan to install rail seating in the north and south stands of our new arena, something which has proven popular in Europe. At the moment, there aren't many English teams using rail seating, and safe standing itself isn't allowed in England. It has been implemented in Scotland, though, with Celtic, along with a lot of European sides, such as Borussia Dortmund, generating vociferous atmospheres in their arenas with the help of rail seating and some elements of safe standing in their respective grounds. Who knows just what kind of atmosphere we could create at our new home on the waterfront with rail seating and the sirens for good measure. It could be fantastic. Well, we are about to take another step closer to that new stadium next month when the second consultation stage opens on the 26th of July. Planning is set to be submitted by the end of this year, so hopefully a bright future awaits sooner rather than later. Well, that is that for tonight. Be sure to leave us your opinions on all the topics we've covered in the comments below, and of course tune in for tomorrow night's 24/7 report. Until then, thanks for watching again on the Toffee Blues. See you later.